Welcome everyone to a brand new episode of Viva Juego. I am your host, Chic Monster, and today I'm happy to announce that we finally get back to work on Project Pew. It's my pet project, it's what I've always wanted to work on, and now I finally have some time to myself where I can sit down and, work on it. So just give me a second, I'm going to run down to the store really quick. I'm out of milk, and I'm also out of money. Okay. Wow.
Well, hi there, Chic Monster.
Oh, it's you, Game Development Fairy. Hi.
What seems to be the problem here?
Well, you see, I really want to work on this project that I love, but I'm also broke, so if I don't make money soon, I'm gonna die of starvation.
Oh, Chic Monster, you stupid bitch. Don't you know the #1 rule of game development?
Yes, I do know the rule, Miss Rude Fairy. I have it here, printed on my wall, because it's such an important rule. It says, game development isn't all fun and games. Oh. Okay, then. Right. So it looks like I'm now doing artwork on commission. I now present to you a tower defense game, which I'm doing all the art for, including character designs and animations. There's a link to a video of the alpha of this game below, though I'm warning you, it doesn't look that great since, it doesn't have any art. In any case, let's get down to business. You can see here I'm working on designing these characters. I'm not really going into much of a complex, iterative design process, seeing as they're pretty small and, they're just one-offs. So, yeah. What I did iterate, though, was a variety of styles and color schemes to present to the client, because he didn't really know exactly what he wanted to do, so I just drew up a bunch of things, and I was like, here, you pick one. Which one looks prettiest to you? I've got some cartoons, like a little sketchy style, more realistic style, animalistic style, sort of going like that. Did I say animalistic? I meant minimalistic. I think I said minimalistic. Right now I'm working on the wizard. As you can see, I've already got the knight done. Just touching up the hood here because it doesn't look enough like a Ku Klux Klan member. Thinking on it now, people who play the game probably wouldn't get the really rich, deep meaning from that artistic choice, so let's just make it a regular hood. There we go. That's better. Next up is the archer. I'm gonna draw him short because of my long-standing and deep-seated hatred of all characters who belong to that class. Oh, you like being short? You like that? Maybe if you were bigger, you'd actually take me on like a man instead of sniping me from the trees, you little bastard. And I'm gonna put you in leggings that ride up your butt, and a feather in your cap, so the world can know how much of a coward you are. That's the coward feather. Wear it! Wear it! I can already tell the archer is probably going to be the hardest one to animate. I mean, just look at that thing, with the arms and the legs and the bow and arrow and the feather in his cap. That's got to be at least like 20 moving parts. Damn you, archer! Even as I hold the pen and master your fate, you enslave me. That should just about do it for these characters. I'm just going to save it as a PNG, and now I import it to Illustrator. I've also imported the color schemes right there just below the sketches, so I can just kind of have a reference for how I want this to end up looking, and I can just actively compare it to what's going on down there. This is probably the easiest part of the whole process, because all I have to do is pretty much just trace over what I've drawn and give it a little bit of a stylistic interpretation. This is going to be imported into Flash, so the tricky part here comes in. I have to kind of look at the body of the character and see where all the moving parts are, and every different part of the body that's going to move on its own needs to have its own layer in Illustrator, and you'll see why as soon as I bring it into Flash. Anyway, let's flesh these puppies out. Highlights, the shadows, the color palette. Please don't sue me, Nickelodeon. I apologize. I really like drawing sort of like the feather in the knight's hat. It's like swooshy. Is that a word? Alright, we've finished illustrating all of these characters. Now it's time to bring one of them to Flash to animate. I'm just going to show you how I animate the mage. He's the simplest one to do because he has the least amount of moving parts. Also, you'll notice before I started the recording here, I also changed the mage's color just so it wasn't all too much the same. I know the archer is now red, the knight is blue, and the mage is yellow. So, pretty simple stuff. Okay, so you guys remember a little bit earlier I mentioned that it was important for you to put every moving part of your animation in a separate layer in Illustrator. It's just going to save you a lot of time. And here's why. When you're going to import your Illustrator file into your Flash file, because they're both Adobe products, they remember sort of the layers. So all you have to do is just check the layers that you're not interested in, and all the rest will be imported as layers. And so yeah, if it's not an Adobe product, you can still you can import, of course, but you're going to have to do each layer separately, which can be a pain in the ass sometimes. Alright, so I have the whole file in my library. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to convert all the different moving parts into their own separate symbol. So when I put them on stage, they'll already be set to go. I'm just going to go ahead and convert it to a symbol, a movie clip, I guess. I don't know what half these fucking buttons do. You got a problem with that? Give me a fucking break. I'm self-taught. These fucking people with their judgment. Okay, so now we've got everything set to go, so it's time to start animating. Since these characters are so, small and relatively simplistic, I can just go ahead and animate them without needing to sort of draw everything out ahead of time. If the character is much bigger or more complex and there's a lot of moving parts, usually what I'll do is I'll create a layer down at the bottom of my animation and just kind of quickly draw out sort of the general movement that I want this to go, and then I'll set the tweens to match that. And I'm sure in some future video at some point you'll probably see how that's done. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to start with the body and the head. Those are kind of like the two main sort of the core of a body's movement. It's pretty much a lot like a gesture drawing, really. Is once you got the head and sort of like the torso mapped up, the limbs and everything else can follow pretty easily. So I'm just going to go ahead and set these and just put a quick swaying motion on them. We're going to have him, this is his walking animation. He's going to be bobbing kind of up and down like that, very, very jaunty, this little sachet as he's walking up to, melt his enemy's face off with his cute little wand. Alright, we've got the head, the body, and a little robe thing going on here. They're all each on their separate layer because they're each a separate moving part. And so now I'm just going to give them a few frames on the timeline, select all of it, and turn it all into a tween. So now we can start pushing and kind of messing around with these. Normally I start with the torso here, but what I did in this case was I just grabbed everything and kind of did a quick skew just to kind of get that general motion of the body here, because it's just a really small, simple character. And then once that's done, then I start kind of tweaking the individual body parts. You can already see it looks like he's just inching along like a little inchworm, a little cute inchworm, hooded inchworm. I don't know where I was really going with that joke, I guess. Now that the body and the general gesture of the motion is set, and all the rest of the limbs and kind of swinging appendages can be added fairly simply. First we put on the hood, and you have to think it's like a dense kind of piece of cloth hanging off the back of his head, so you really wanted to get it swinging with as much abandon as possible. And we put the arm in the front, and that one's pretty easy. It just kind of gently swings back and forth. And then we affix the right arm, pretty much the same principle. You probably notice I'm skipping a lot of steps, but this really isn't a tutorial video. It's just demonstrating how much as an artist I've suffered to make these things. Wait a minute, how the fuck did I do that? Once you've got all that going, then you add the staff. Boom. Then the two little sashes, drapes, I guess. Boom. And you're done. Wow. Wasn't that fun, kids? And it only took 10 minutes. It was actually 3 hours, but due to the magic of video editing, I made it look like I got it done in no time. Considerably less breaks for crying and stuffing my face with Ben & Jerry's than it was in reality. Now all I have to do is do all the rest of his animations, plus all the rest of the animations for the other characters, plus all the rest of the art. And then I get paid a fraction of what I deserve. I love making video games. Hey guys, this is the Chic Monster. Thanks for watching. I just want to go ahead and apologize for not having made a video in such a long time. I could say that it's because I had a lot of work and other things to do, and I really wasn't paying that much of attention to the show. But since I'm horrible at accepting responsibility for things, I'm gonna say it's your fault because you didn't subscribe hard enough. So be sure to tell your friends, tell your family, like, share, and all that YouTube bullshit. And maybe more videos will come your way. How do you like that? See you next time.